The next order of business is the Executive Director's report from Lawrence, please.
Good morning, welcome, thank you. Leanne's about to bring up my PowerPoint presentation. And when I say slides, she will change slides. So as would be normal, what we're looking at is how are we doing in 2020? So 2020 has been an unusual year for us and will continue to be for a while, at least for the rest of this year and early into 2021. Slide. So starting off the year, 2019 was a really good year. You'll remember, and it seems so long ago, that we had the event in Reno, one of the best that we'd had. Membership, and I have to admit it was because we changed the way of counting it, not because membership grew, but the numbers started higher than they ended. No, ended higher than they started. The status of the society was going quite well. Wheels of Time, again, a number one publication, and we did in 2020 change the timing of Wheels of Time so that it came out, not went to the mailbox on the first of the month, but was in your mailbox on the first of the month. Slide. But if COVID-19 has taught us anything, it's that societies like ATHS are not guaranteed to be here tomorrow. Most of you know I spend most of my time out of work in doing this type of work with other organisations and socialising with people in my type of position. And we're all in the same boat, and ATHS is faring fairly well compared to some of them. There are others that are much bigger, much stronger, but they're losing millions of dollars by not having events, and they weren't able to turn around their events. So what this report does is look at where we are now. What do we need to do to stay relevant within the ATHS ecosystem? And I say ecosystem in that it really is a small group of like-minded organizations. I always get it wrong, ATCA, SPAMFA, MVPA, Good Guys, we're all in that same ecosystem. So it's that we're comparing ourselves to. And one of the key ways to winning the future composed of accelerating innovation, change, and new players. And what trends are we going to be facing as we plan the recovery of the next steps of the society? Slide. So the major impact for 2020 was that Kansas City got shut down. All of us were sent home. We were not allowed to come to the office, and it was effectively with very little notice. So we turned around quite quickly and made it such that each of us could work from home. Several of the staff had to invest in new computers, new software, new travel, new phones. Certainly in the early stages there, as the exec knows, I had to change phone systems because out in the bush where I live, there was no service. So I think I'm the only person in 2020 that installed a landline. Fortunately, I don't use that anymore. We closed the visitor centre, the home office, to all visitors, and we suspended receipt of artefacts. So we effectively closed the back door. So you could, if you wanted to donate something to us, you couldn't. For the overall impact, the main thing that we all feel, know, and the budget shows is that there was no truck show for us, no convention. The whole lack of show season, so no Mats, no Gats, no Guilty by Association, no Brooks, meant that the membership was impacted in that we didn't accumulate the new membership that we normally do. We didn't get the renewals that we usually do at those spaces too. And that showed in many ways, but in particular one that came up is, as you know, we send out 3 notices of invoice, and many people, a lot more than usual, were leaving it until the 3rd invoice to pay, whereas normally they just pay at Mats or Gats when they see us. Chapter activities were limited, so the engagement of the membership was down. One of the good things we did was slash the budget. the lawn, when you come out here to see the truck show in the first Saturday in November, you'll see the lawn hasn't been cut as often. The building is looking a little tired, but we've reduced the cleaning services. We've reduced the services to the building. The lights on the CF sign are now only on when we think people will be passing, rather than all through the night, etc. Member numbers are definitely down, and we need to pay strong attention to that. In that impacts everything we do. If we're looking for sponsorship, for instance, we can no longer say we have 20,000 members. We can now say that we have 17,500, 18,000. That's about it. But the biggest problem is the general uncertainty. We have 179 odd people registered for Harrisonburg, which because it's never been open, registration's never been opened this early before. That's a good number, but I would have expected in a normal year that number would be higher, leading out of the previous convention, and that's the goal for the future. At this stage, we have every intention of running a live show in Harrisonburg, but still people will be cautious. I'm like Mark. I'm hoping that there will be some vaccines and we'll be able to get out and things will be safe and healthy. And certainly by June, that should be happening. But again, every aspect of what we do is being impacted with the general uncertainty. Slide. So what did we do about it? Isn't this awesome? I remember late last year, on the exec, we were talking about what we're going to do, how to integrate IT into board meetings, and we were all very cautious. And then came about March or April, and we got thrown in it. There is just no question. So we have learned to Zoom our life around. I'm sure, like many of you are like me, in that 4, 5, 6 Zoom calls a day are becoming quite normal, even to family and loved ones overseas. YouTube was a great boon to us with the convention. The awards dinner being pre-recorded, the awards going the way that they did showed us that we can do it properly. When we do open back up, we'll be able to completely refocus the whole of the awards dinner and have it pre-prepared and much more professional and flowing. Slide. New website. We do not doubt that there were some hiccups, and we've still got 1 or 2, but it has been a boon to us. The number of people that come to our website has increased incrementally. It is just a much easier website to look at. Once you get used to it, it's easier to find things. People are paying online much better, much easier. New membership is easy to do. So we're in the process of developing that further, but that was a great boon for the early part of 2020. Slide. You moved. But the most important thing is how we made it work. The outreach to the membership is the most important thing, to know, for them to know that we're around, for them to know that we're working on their behalf. In the early stages of COVID shutdown, we did videos. You can see a shot of Mark's video. We all the executive did them. We did Stay at Home 20, which became a newsletter. Stay Home 20 became an update, and the convention and everything else effectively that we've done since, including webinars and those sorts of things, have come online. Wheels of Time has stayed the staple of the organisation and stayed in paper, and will stay that way. And the amazing thing is, we jumped in it very early, got the convention running, got ourselves online quickly, and I know that other organisations were then following our lead. We did it cheaply. Many of you know that my wife is in that business, and we did it incredibly well for very little cost compared to what other associations and organisations are doing. Slide. So how are we doing the change moving forward? we really have moved in 2020 to a member-owned, member-run organisation that, as was mentioned earlier with Mark, the committees are just working tremendously well. It means that the decisions and the directions are being driven by you, and the staff are just then carrying out the tasks that they should be carrying out. We've increased communications, we've increased transparency. Things like the financial reports every month are now out on the 15th of every month, and that has been true every month this year. Dispatch comes out on the second Tuesday of every month, and again, what we have done is expand that. And for those that haven't heard, the dispatch reports, we're adding another report this time for the future, which will be the rejoins, so the people that have been out, dropped for a while and have come back, so that they can be thanked for coming back in. And I think everybody would appreciate the fabulous changes that have come to the financial reporting. One of the things that I did when I started here was try and be as transparent as possible. So I threw 47 different reports at you every month, and they all went. Dale has made sense of those and turned them into a nice, easy report that's easy to follow, no matter how deep you want to go into it. But as I say, the thing for me that's exciting and really is keeping us going is the committee involvement. So we've seen increases in how things are done, and we're professionalising the activity and driving towards specific goals and objectives that are being set by the Long Range Planning Committee. Engagement generally is up and giving. So the generosity of the members just staggers me. As you would imagine, I don't open the envelopes with checks in them every day, but when I do, it's just the generosity of people just giving $5, $10, $100. It's just amazing. As you can see, the ad there, which will be in Wheels of Time, coming out in a week or two. So that George's generosity will continue to pay for ATHS going forward. The Adopt a Member program, it came off as an idea somebody threw out at the exec meeting, and I liked it, so we ran with it. And we have achieved not quite $6,000 in donations. It's worked very well. What we haven't got so far is a lot of people taking the adoption route. We have adopted about 25 people, and so Dale has set about a program in this last week, going through the chapters to try and encourage chapters to join into the program, and we can double up with a chapter adoption and a society adoption. Slide. The other thing that we're all looking forward to is, and she will get to speak in a couple of minutes, Angela Brewer has joined us on the 1st of June as the Director of Development. First time we've had one, I believe. There's already 2 programs that she's implemented. One you would have seen, most of you would have seen, which is the Plan Giving program. The other one is the End of Year program, the one you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. You joined for the trucks, you stayed for the people, you give for the mission. That will be in Wheels of Time and in the mail in the next week or 2. In 2021, we've got a major program being launched by Angela. It's a long haul program, and it will be an ongoing monthly payment opportunity for people to join into an exclusive set within the ATHS. Slide. So the main thing we need is focus and attention. Through the Long Range Planning Committee, the strategic objectives matrix has kept us very well on focus. And it drives the internal business plan for ATHS, and that's kept us on path. And the operations, despite what's going on around us, seem to be going fairly well. One of the things I didn't mention, and I should, is even at this stage in October 2020, not all staff are working from the office. There are still some working full-time from home, some working part-time from home, and then there are the regulars like Courtney and I that just get more work done when we're in the office. Jody, who comes for a socialization, but there is certainly there are others that for health and for family reasons are working from home. It's working very effectively. There is very little hiccup in the structure and programs. The planning for the future, again, that goes through to the Long Range Planning Committee. It will be this part of the strategic focus. It's taken a next step. John, I'm sure, will explain that in his presentation. But we are now looking for the future, but both next year, 5 years, 10 years further down the road. So what I'm really pointing to at this stage is the focus and what needs to be done. We all know that ATHS is at a crossroads. We need to either grow or die. What we need to do is work out what it is that will make us grow and concentrate on those things. So with the help of the Long Range Planning Committee and then all the committees, we'll follow that. That leads us back to what I've been preaching the last couple of years of leading with intent. We are the leaders of the organisation. We 40 or 50 people on this call are driving the organisation, but it is really the 17, 18,000 members that own it and that we are working for. So as we are leading the organisation, we need to do it intentionally with purpose. And that's what we are getting towards very strongly, particularly with the long range planning. Slide. So what's new? Lots of good stuff. As I developed this list, it just kept growing every day, and I'm super excited for some of it. The virtual truck show was just awesome. I congratulate all the staff that were involved, and I say it in that fashion that I think all of the staff were. Leanne is good at twisting arms for volunteers. My wife did a voiceover for one of the decades. And I think somebody else, a couple of others, executive spouses and those sorts of things. So it really is a great teamwork. The convention, we've been able to expand out and grow it far beyond just 3 days in Harrisonburg. It will be combined next year, a hybrid being combined. So both virtual and live. Webinars, we hadn't done them until we got into COVID. They now seem to be a hit. 227 was the number of registrants for, I heard the other day, for the Kenworth presentation next week. It is just, looks like it's a boon to the service. We are looking all around for speakers. So if you know someone that's willing, there are a number of ways that those webinars can come together, whether they are pre-recorded, whether they're live interviews, whether it's a full presentation, we can make it work for you so that we can spread that information. I want to make it clear we're not Kenworth, we're not pro Kenworth, but we are looking for Peterbilt, Mack, Brockway people to come forward and give us their expertise as well, and the others as well. Hall of Fame, we have now listed all of the, pretty close to listing all of the people that have won awards through ATHS in the last 20, 30 years. They are now online and searchable. We're calling it the Hall of Fame, as you would have seen last time you were here, which is back in January. Courtney's come up with the cute spelling of it. We're going to check the legality of that. But certainly the Hall of Fame now means if you win an award and get your name in the January Wheels of Time, that's not forgotten. You will be remembered forever. So hopefully in the future, people will see that my grandpa won an award in 1920, we went around 1995 for his 50 years of driving. So it will be a boon to us. The Klein collection, absolutely amazing. There are boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. I'm talking pallet-sized boxes, filing cabinets. So everything you ever wanted to know about a Klein is now in our possession. There are in excess of 32,000 photos searchable in the library, and we will continue to grow that every week. So stay with it. And whilst we're on that, anybody that can volunteer, anybody that can type, we have a job for you. If you've got 1 hour a week, Courtney can set you up with a typing from home, a spreadsheet, give you the task, and you can do it at your own leisure. So if you know someone, if you've got a mother, a spouse, some children that are handy with a computer and can do word processing, please do. And again, it's wrong to single people out, but Dale Bridge, thank you for all you did on that project. Absolutely wonderful work. New phone system. I know we have one or two complaints about one issue that we still have, but you will find it's a much more efficient system than we've had. One that we inherited from previous regimes. Those of you that have called me or I've called, the clarity of the system is now much better. But it's also, I can now click on my finger, wrong screen, click on the finger on the screen and dial you, and it comes through my headset. It just means that we are much more available and accessible. Increased tracking membership information, so we just keep growing the data that we do have. The Adopt a Member program I mentioned earlier, new member benefits coming through the membership committee, member pins are going over very well, very popular, anniversary 10, 20, 30, 40, and next year we will be able to launch the 50-year pin, so that's exciting. Gallagher, which are travel savings, office discounts, insurance, etc. And On-Call, which is a roadside service assistance program. In general principle, we have agreed to, we haven't signed the contract yet, so within a few weeks, we will have that available to large vehicles. The software for Wheels of Time is being updated. You would have seen it in the Showtime edition that just happened, and it will be applied to the Wheels of Time, which will be out in a couple of days. You'll be able to click on links and it'll go straight to the ad to the phone numbers within the board membership, etc. And the launch of the Planned Giving program. The people have now given us the information that we are in their will, and when they pass that, we will get a share of their estate. Excuse me, slide. E-billing, we're still playing with. We started it a month or two back. It's starting to work, but it needs a lot of still tweaking. The problem clearly is if we can get everyone to do e-billing, the savings on time and money on mailing out 3 invoices to every member will just be astronomical savings. So when you get the opportunity, ensure that people are opting for the e-bills. The chapter leadership training started last year, expanded, or no, the year before. No, I don't know what year it was, last year, I think. And we've expanded it. It's now a monthly event. The new convention registration software is launched, and as I said, there's 170 odd people already registered. We're using stronger committee engagement by using technology. So the project management system, which is Trello, will continue to be rolled out, and it will be so that eventually the whole board will be able to just tap in, see where a project is up to, ask questions if they need to, take their action steps as needed, and we will, without waiting for a meeting. The electronic payment system is improving. Still a couple of bugs there, but now you can go online and pay your membership generally. As I say, a couple of bugs, but we're getting there. ACH, so Dan doesn't have to write a check every time, get me to sign it. So that's saving time. We're paying bills through the automated clearinghouse. The monthly reporting I mentioned, Barbara paying her attention to the chapters and the regions, home office upgrade and decoration. For those that haven't been here recently, every month it's looking better and better, a few more displays. It looks great. We need to now get the people back into it, and it's all through the generous donation of the membership. The quality of brochures, membership brochures, flyers, and the online promotional materials has just grown tremendously. We've standardized. One of the things I like is more and more and more, we're seeing people with their pins, with their shirts. It's just coming all over the place, that the logo is out there. The logo is being recognized. It's being used on trucks, and shirts, and anywhere it can be used. We've streamlined the convention site selection, and that we get to chat about that and argue about that later on. I've also added in there that we need to mention that the home office, there is an additional cost this year. Cleaning has gone up in that we've done a couple of specialised COVID cleanings. The windows, last time you were here, the wall was open so we could see the rain coming in. The good news is, since they fixed it, we haven't seen any rain, but we haven't seen any severe rain yet. So we're assuming it's fixed, but we're not 100% yet. And the flagpoles that came down when we took the traffic island out will be going back up. Rick Knox is organising a work day in early November, again, to get the flags up, and so that you can get a great shot of a photo of the flags and the CF sign out in the front yard. I mentioned also that we have stickers, and hope anybody on Facebook has seen that we're starting to promote them. I just was flabbergasted at the generosity and support that we get. The Circum family wrapped 2 of their trailers this last week. You would have seen those flying around in Facebook. Michael Gully's still got Wheels of Time and ATHS on his trucks. David Schnauts at Clark Freight has the logo on some of his trailers, and certainly the new 30-inch sticker for the back of the trucks, so that you can find our web address as you're flying down the highway at 65 mile an hour, was David's idea, and he was the first person to buy 20 of those stickers for his trailers. Thanks, David. Since then, Dean's got himself 5 stickers. Bill Irvin, I think, has got a dozen. So anytime that you need a sticker, we will send it your way. Put it on your truck just for promotion. And if a 30-inch is too big, a 24 will fit nicely on a smaller truck. And if you haven't got that, we'll send you the logo stickers, which will be going on my international soon. I just haven't worked out where yet. Slide. So what else is new? I believe this is the first year we've had 100% committee chair reporting. Absolutely awesome. The engagement that the COVID pandemic has given us is just, it seems like we are disjointed, that things are not gelling like they used to when we see each other face to face, but some things are coming together better. The committee chair reporting is 100%. RBP reporting was 100%. Board reporting was 100%. Chapters, we lost a couple. So Sheila's just sent us that the Northern California chapter sold 7 of the big stickers, and they're a great hit. So we can even send them out to you for a show, and you can sell them. The majority of chapters reported. What we have done, again, we've never had this level of reporting, but there's 5 chapters, I believe, that we haven't heard anything from, and we're working on the assumption that they are defunct. We're just now confirming that with the appropriate parties in those areas. There's still a couple that we haven't got a particular report from, but it's far better reporting than we've had for a long time. And the expanded committee roles, and the executive sick to death of hearing me say, I want to expand that and continue to expand it and have that run the organisation, but we will see that continue to grow. Slide. But I think the most exciting things, and I guess that's just my warped sense of humour or my warped intelligence, the most exciting things that are happening are the things behind the scenes. The new phone system to me is just fantastic. But if you're dialing into the office, who cares? In 2020, we launched the new convention database and registration program that was designed and built for us. It's the first of a kind. No one else has got this. It's a little unfortunate. Had we have had Springfield, we would have some trucks pictures in there, and the self-registration for the following year would be ready. We'd get there. Nobody expected the pandemic, but we will get around it. And in 5 years from now, it'll just be a smooth running program of, are you bringing the same truck? Click yes. Have you changed the address? Click no. And it all will spit out. We are using QR codes. Everything will be registered back to the same database. And eventually it will all, and not eventually, and instantaneously will all be linked together. It'll save members time when they register, because you'll be able to, in a year or two, just click yes, click no. Save time for volunteers. You just scan it and it'll pop up as yes, that's fine. I know you don't know how much work goes into sorting out all the trucks to get into Showtime, getting the names right, getting the right truck with the right descriptors. That will be almost automatic. And the data that we have, that we put in it today, and as I said, it'll have to grow over the next few years, will stay in the system. So as long as you have that same truck and that same address, it's there for a lifetime. The data is also can be used for if someone calls and says, I need a friend, I need someone that can help me out with a 74 Kenworth, we will know who that is. We'll go into the database and say, David Schnauzer's got one. Talk to him. I think he's got parting it out or whatever it is you need. Or I want to buy a 74 Kenworth. David's got one to sell. Or the other way around. If you want to sell a 74 Kenworth, well, David's got lots of money. We all know that. Sorry, Dave. So the database, I think, is the best thing we have done. The convention, going virtual was great. The webinars, that's great. All the other work, that's great. But the new database is going to change ATHS significantly. One of the things that we are talking about now that this board meeting's almost over is talking how we interact with people like Terry Biddle, Benchmark, etc., so that it'll all come into the same database, and we'll be able to just automatically push buttons and it'll come together beautifully. Slide. So the primary objective for 2020, the primary objective for 2021 is to ensure that the 2020 strategic objectives have been met. Some of them still aren't, but are planned to by the end of the year. But we are also looking at the convention will be hybrid. Unless something drastic happens, there will be a live show in Harrisonburg, which will be supplemented with some level of computerization. If it's a 2,000 truck show in Harrisonburg, firstly, we'll have to pick Leanne up off the floor, but we will then have some support. But if it's a 300 truck show, it will also be shown around the world and we'll be able to make it go. We've expanded the training and webinars. We were planning on having a training program here in KC in conjunction with the chapter truck show coming up in early November. We've decided against that because of the COVID distancing, but we will be looking at live training programs, not just live webinars or seminars. The Hall of Fame will be a hot topic. Mr. Chairman, I'll leave that to you, whether you want to expand upon that somewhere else in your presentations. The philanthropic program, the long haul for 2021, is a dynamic, exciting thing, again, driven by the membership. E-magazines will be on board, expanded member categories to try and develop, to try and encourage younger members, a greater diversity of members, and we will continue to develop the chapters. Leanne. The other thing that's exciting for me is the current contract for Razor's Edge ends on September 2021. We are looking at solutions to replace the existing old database and get a new one going. You've heard about, we tried in 2018 to get this up, but the expense was prohibitive. We're now halfway down the path that we planned, so hopefully the costs have halved and we'll be able to get something in place. If not fairly soon, it will come not long after that period, but that will be a focus of how we can get everything back on track so that the automatic payments for membership are correct. The automatic billings just go out automatically without 4 days of preparation from Courtney and Jody. All those sorts of things that with the modern technology we're used to when we pay the electricity bill or buy a used car online, eventually in a year, maybe 2 or 3, we will have that capability. Leanne, slide. So how are we starting? There's a whole bunch of stuff. Just to let you know, as well as what the Long Range Planning Committee do, the staff have business plans, and just a few of them include increasing the number of wards, which will then go into the database, which will then go into the Hall of Fame. Conventions, 12 webinars next year. Almost forgotten, we really can't. Next year is the 50th anniversary. We are making a big fuss about it. It will be our 50th golden anniversary, and that will be a major part of what ATHS is about next year. So all aspects of what we're doing are designed to grow the organisation. Slide. So, whilst I'm super duper proud of what we've achieved in 2020, and 2019 was a good year for us. 2020 is a different type of year, but it's given us the opportunity to take a step back, take a breather, and build a new platform to build from. So we'll be able to do that. On this one, I've tried to find some of the complaints that we've heard over the last 12 months. And the first one that we've looked at is that we start a lot of things and we don't finish them. I go back to what we need to do is focus, to lead with intention. So the long range planning strategic objectives will help that. Work that the finance committee are doing at the moment will help lead in that direction. One of the things that went through my mind the other day is, to give you an example, if a staff member comes to me and they've got 4 hours work to do for the end of 4 hours free of work for the end of the week, they say, Lawrence, what do you want me to do? I have to then make the decision, all right, do I get them to find sponsors for us? Do I get them to catalogue the library? Do I get them to work on membership? Do I get them to work on marketing? That type of focus is being developed by the Long Range Planning Committee, and as I say, as a subset, the Finance Committee, and it will tell me that if, I almost used Jordan's name and she doesn't work for us anymore, but if Barbara's got 4 hours on a Friday afternoon, the number one priority is this. That's what you do before you do anything else. Asking for donations of members way too often. The focus over the last couple of years has been changing around to an ROI. So what's the benefit of supporting ATHS? So we've gone to the benefits of insurance, roadside assistance, all of those things you can get for from your membership at a discount, or in some cases free. That they will always continue to grow. David's working with a service company to see what we can do with them, one of the biggies. So if you have ideas, if you've got contacts is the main thing, keep driving them in this direction so that we can say to someone, $52 might seem like a lot of money to you, but you can save $100 in doing that. It was reported to us last week that one chapter that had a convention, a truck show, saved more on the discount from Office Depot than their membership cost. So you can spend $52 to save $100 at Office Depot, etc. Home office inefficiencies, we know, we're still working on it. The old computer system, we're fixing it slowly. The new phone system, it's been in place for 2, maybe 3 weeks. We got one more fix to it, but we're getting there. COVID closed down. What we're trying to do is encourage people to get back wherever it is possible, have convention meetings, chapters. We just keep driving it, but we also need to stay safe. If there are people that don't want to come to the office, we need to respect that. Membership loss, absolutely, no question of it. So we've got new membership levels and benefits coming. Lack of younger members. I've got a survey being developed at the moment to go out to members and non-members to find out what it is would make ATHS attractive to 25, 35 and 45-year-olds. Excuse me. But we still are not very well known. As I say, I'm proud of where we go with the logo at the moment. It seems to be popping up all over the place. More and more. We're putting it out on social media, and there's a social media plan coming up later in this meeting. PR outreach, which we're doing a bit more of. E-magazines, as I say, so that the younger people have something that will attract them, and an expanded communication system. A lack of transparency is always a problem with an organisation like this. How much do we share? Who do we share it with? I think we've gotten better, particularly, as I say, with the financial reports. It's not so much that you didn't have the information, it was in such a complicated way, presented in such a complicated way that you couldn't necessarily all understand it. You now can. The membership lists are all coming. The roster's almost coming. And so it's coming together. I expect this time next year, most of those issues will be addressed and resolved. That's the end of my presentation.